Hello, hi, welcome to my channel. I am so glad you are here. My name is Reese, and I talk about books. Today, I'm chatting about women in translation. It is the month of August. In the literary world, that is Women in Translation Month. Maybe you are unfamiliar with that term. Maybe you stumbled upon this video because you're curious about it, and I felt like the best thing I could do to celebrate this month, other than reading books that fall into this category, is to share some of my thoughts on women in translation, share some recommendations, and hopefully make it less intimidating for one person out there. If you're here on this channel, you might be familiar with it already, but I hope that there's a recommendation in here that you haven't thought of before. And if you're completely new to the world of women in translation, I hope that one of these books that I'm recommending will become one of your new favorites. Broadly speaking, it is a movement around reading the works of women, but it's a little more nuanced than that, so I'm going to read an excerpt from the movement's website that I think sums it up pretty well. Women in Translation seeks to rectify the imbalance in world literature, promoting women writers from across all walks of life, all languages, and all experiences. Whether translated into English, translated between different non-English languages, or still untranslated, women from all over the world deserve to have equal opportunities when it comes to literary recognition. And we as readers deserve to have access to stories that truly reflect the vastness of the world in which we live through different lenses shaped by language, culture, and experience. So yeah, I believe women in translation is an important movement. Personally, I feel like some of my favorite books over the past few years that I really started paying attention to and seeking out works that fall under this umbrella, I mean, they come from this. There's something so interesting about reading a story written by somebody that grew up in a different corner of the world, has a different background experience, like their history, all of these things can be so different from me, and yet the story that they tell is so deeply connected to something I feel. I mean, I guess that's art. What else can I say other than these are some excellent books, and I'm going to share some of my favorites over the past few years that I've read, and I'm going to try and do it in 2 sentences per book, which was hard. Tried to do it in 1, that didn't work out. Anyways, my life has become so much richer reading translated literature, especially written by women. I'm sharing a total of 7 books for you, and because I like organizing things, I've organized them into 3 categories. We have 1, quiet dystopian. Then we have 2, real world grounded. And then the 3rd category is mystery. These are the types of books I like to read. Hopefully there is something in here that will spark your interest. It is a little weird books for weird people, but yeah, if you like that, you should probably subscribe to this channel because I talk about that a lot. It's kind of a thing I like. All right, okay, quiet dystopian. These are books for my lovers of subtly unsettling stories. I realized, looking back on these 3 that I chose, these all have to do with like repetition of sorts. And I guess that's, I don't know, something about my life feels like that. Maybe if you want to feel a sense of validation for being stuck in the loop that is modern society, maybe check some of these out. First book is The Wall by Marlen Haushofer. A woman in the Austrian mountains is separated from the rest of the world by an invisible wall, left to survive with only a few animals and nature. If you fantasize about running away from your desk job and living alone in tune with the seasons again, but with a touch of what the is going on, read this book. Next, we have On the Calculation of Volume, Book 1 by Solvej Balle. A bookseller is stuck repeating the same day over and over again. Repetitive, quiet. This is an unraveling of reality that is somehow steady and calm. Part of a series. I've only read this first one so far, but I've really enjoyed it. If you want unsettling but steady and calm, go here. I went over 2 sentences. Okay, next. I've talked about this book a lot on this channel. One day I will make a dedicated video about this. It is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. A story that starts with a group of women who are stuck in an underground bunker. They do not know how they got there, and they do not know why they are there. We experience this through the eyes of the youngest as they suddenly get an opportunity that changes everything. This book to me so perfectly symbolizes the search for meaning in life and what the purpose of storytelling is. I can't recommend this book enough. This is like required reading for anyone in my life. Maybe it'll become required reading for you. We're gonna switch gears for this next group of books. These are a couple of stories grounded in the real world. First recommendation I'm gonna make, you know I'm gonna make this, My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. This is the first in a sweeping, epic 4-book story of female friendship set in 1950s Naples to start. It's the story of growing from childhood to adolescence in relation to a close friend and within the larger context of a complex, close-knit neighborhood and also a changing country. If you want to be in the head of a character with internal thoughts, that adolescent childhood state of mind, yeah, go here. Unofficially, I think every INFJ will love this book and this series. Next, recommendation in real world grounded, Whereabouts by Jhumpa Lahiri. If being in the head of a character is your thing, then this book is for you. An unnamed narrator takes us along with her as she traverses through the everyday of her life. Urban loneliness in a European city where each chapter is a specific location. This book is very interesting because Lahiri is an author and a translator. She learned Italian and wrote this book in Italian, and then she translated it herself into English. It's layered and interesting, and as I've read more translated works, I've become very much appreciative of the art and skill of translation. The prose of this book was beautiful, so high on my list of books to reread. Moving on from the grounded stories, maybe you're interested in some mystery. May I suggest Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. This is a whodunit in a remote Polish village with a middle-aged, eccentric woman protagonist who loves animals and loves to give people nicknames and really dislikes the cops, if I'm remembering that correctly. This reminded me of Fleabag meets Moshfegh, but less violent and no hot priest. And then, my last recommendation, we have Ultramarine by Mariette Navarro. I recently read this. A cargo ship captain, a woman, deals with a mysterious presence on board her ship. Atmospheric, sad, disorienting. And ultimately, kind of about the things we bury deep underneath the surface. There you have it. Short and sweet. 2-ish sentences per book. Those are just a few. This is by no means an exhaustive list. I have so many on my TBR that I haven't read yet that I'm looking forward to reading and sharing with you. Yeah, these are just a few that I've read recently that have really stuck with me. If you have a recommendation based off of any of these groups or something that's similar to one of these books or just the broad category of women in translation in general, please leave it in the comments. I would love to know. Other people who are watching may love to know as well. I'm going to leave you right here. I'm gonna get back to reading. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.